That's not, you don't want us to. Like, you might think that you want us to, but no, because that's going to come up and you will probably get sued for it. And I don't want to have anything to do with that. So
showed a house a few months ago, and we showed up, and I remember looking at the cover photo for the listing. It had this real nice double window right in the front middle where probably could have been a dormer, but it wasn't. It was more of a flat front.
Yeah.
It was this huge double window. And we walk up, and I didn't think anything of it, but I was like, it kind of looks like it's more like flat or flush than what I remember. But we get in, walking around for like 45 seconds, and I was like, guys, I'll be right back. And like, I walk outside, and I'm like, what am I missing?
Mm-hmm.
And then not 2 or 3 minutes later, I go back inside. The wife's like, did they Photoshop a window on the front of the house? And I'm like, holy crap, that's what but like, I'm like, why would you do that? Like, I mean, it helps. We got there, but then the client was like, well, I don't really know if that makes me trust them more or less now. Yeah. Like, if that's, and so I think to your point, like morally, ethically, it just leads to some question marks that are completely avoidable unless they planned on putting that window in there. I would imagine if I had to just take a shot in the dark, you all get asked to remove power lines, dead trees, maybe not so savory looking neighbors from certain angles. Am I missing anything that you guys get? What's your common things you get asked to, can you guys edit this out? You mentioned some interior stuff like stains.
Yeah. I'd say one of the bigger things is power lines, or water towers, cell phone towers. It's like, absolutely not. Those are there. They're there, and they're going to be there whenever the people get there, and they're going to be very upset with
Google Street View.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah, they're just all kinds of little things like that people think is not a big deal when in general you are false advertising. So
let's dive a little deeper on preparedness. So you're going to see more homes on a daily basis, and your team does, than most sellers ever will look at. For a seller thinking about how to present their home, what would you suggest? Is it, and there's different tiers to this, right? But like staging it with their own furniture and belongings, hiring a professional staging company, just declutter and deep clean, go completely vacant and empty. I mean, for you who shoots it and you kind of have the eye for it, what do you generally think presents the best?
There's no doubt that what presents the best is a professionally staged house. That presents the best, period. There's no really going around that. But it is, I mean, it can be very expensive, and I understand that. But I know even as the photographer or as a company that we do virtual staging, I would much rather go into a house that's staged and shoot it than have to stage or virtually stage a house. Yeah, obviously we lose a little bit of money that way, but it's okay because it's definitely going to show way better when it's professionally staged. I'd say after that, it's depending on how their furniture looks, probably using their own stuff and having somebody maybe come in and consult on what to actually make it look like. Having somebody that is a stager, I think some stagers actually will do that and just stage your house with
almost
your
consult you with your own items.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say that's probably the next best. But then, I mean, if you've just got junky looking stuff, it might be best to just go vacant.
And I think a lot of that from my end of things will also depend on what the deal structure is going to look like. Do you have to sell before you buy? Do you have somewhere to go? It can be price point dependent based on the level of traffic we expect. It could be
speed,
a multitude of things, right? Like how quick does this have to happen? So I would say to that end, is that something that you're willing to, if an agent or your team, if an agent texts you and says, hey, here's some pictures of like, or shoot a video walking around, like, what do you think we need to do here? Is that something you guys are willing to have Discord with the agent about, like, hey, I can't shoot that, or here's what I would suggest? Can agents reach out to you guys and
Absolutely.
Get some advice?
Yeah, you can always ask for advice. There might be times where we don't necessarily know the best answer of what you need to do, other than call somebody that actually can help you with that. But there may be times where, oh yeah, that looks great. We can shoot it just as is. That's not a big deal at all. Or there may be times where it's like, you all have some work to do. I've had some people like that too that say, this is what it looks like right now. what are the main things I need to do here? And it's almost always declutter. Get rid of a bunch of stuff. It doesn't have to be get rid of it. Actually, you can hide it, but I'd say a lot of times we're actually professional hiders that have cameras, because there's a lot of times where we take a really nice picture where behind us is it's a complete wreck, but that's because sometimes it just happens that way. We try to help as best as we can as long as we have the time to do it.
What are the most cluttered areas that you see in a house when you all go to shoot photography?
Kitchens and bathrooms. I think those are usually because people get so used to living every single day in that kitchen, and they have everything in the place that it needs to be functionally, but functionally isn't always the prettiest. So where you've got a mail catcher or something like that, or you've just got a bunch of knickknacks and a bunch of appliances sitting on your counter, where that's great that you have all that counter space and it works out functionally, but it doesn't look good. You want people to be able to picture their own things in a house rather than picture, your 17 appliances on your counter that your buyer doesn't use, and they just like, oh man, that's cluttered and junky. That's just how it feels. That's how it always is every day, and it's just how you're used to.
Well, and these things have changed completely about how people shop, right? So you are having to think through, how is this going to look not only on an iPad or a laptop, but also, hey, most people are shopping on this little 4 to 6 inch screen first.
Yep.
How do I make this space work for that?
Yep.
Photos is obviously the vast majority, but there's also a ton of other services. So does the level of service that an agent and their client choose to market their home with differentiate the level of preparedness? Like if they want to do a video, if they want to do a virtual tour, can you talk us through what some of those look like?
Yeah, for sure. Because if we're going to go in and do photos and video, that's going to be a lot different than if we're just going in to do photos, because usually we're doing that 2 completely separate times. Well, like it's still the same appointment, but in general, we go in, we shoot photos. When we're done with photos, we switch to our video equipment and shoot video. So if we have to move things around every room for twice, like that's just not doable with the amount of time that we usually have blocked off before you need to get to our next one.